You're listening to Rodney Rogers Outdoors Radio, where we turn it upside down and look at the outside from the inside out. It's safe, it's legal, and we're having a blast. So put your shoes on, my friend, because we're going outdoors.
Welcome to Rodney Rogers Outdoors. I am Rodney Rogers. That right there, in all his prime, is my co-chief's partner in crime.
Just getting in the zone.
Is already zoning? How's it?
Getting in the zone.
Well, okay. You need a hug? You need some little pick me up?
Whatever you're offering, Rodney, I'm taking.
That's what I want to hear. Michael Mancoy, how are you, brother?
I'm good. It's good to see you.
It's good to see you, man. It is really good to see you. This is mine and Mike's 1 hour vacation. We are certainly glad you guys are hanging out with us. We've already got a page full of people watching us right now. Thank you so much for hanging out. There's a couple ways you can reach us tonight with questions, comments, just telling us sometimes we're big dummies. We love hearing that. Mike loves hearing that especially. You can reach us at Twitter on hashtag RROR.
Got it.
Right down there on Mike's Twitter.
Check, up and running.
You can shoot us a text at 262-345-7763. That is the hotline. It will come right into both of us, actually. You can also call us on that hotline, which I'm hoping to hear from a couple people tonight. And are you ready for this one? And you can shoot comments right in here to Facebook. I'm watching it as we speak, so I can run it right in here. I'm actually going to text a couple people to say, hey, can you call tonight?
Real time. This is real time.
This is real time. This is I'll shoot you a time. This is real. And you're getting it right now. If you're watching this, you're getting it. You're like, hey, that was me.
I'll shoot you a time like now.
Yeah, you'll see. This is mine and Mike's 1 hour vacation. This is literally 1 hour we look forward to every week. This is episode 180. If I'm not mistaken, it is 180.
Right,
my gosh, 180. Mike and I started this out by doing -1,
We
or
did.
-3 or something,
Yeah,
and then we worked our way up to 0. We talked about posting those first shows all the way up to 0. We never did post. That was our practice.
Correct. Yeah.
That was our practice.
Smart move.
It was.
I stand by. It was a smart move.
It was.
We've been relatively smart on most things we've done.
Well, that's still out on the jury right now.
Most things.
Trust me, some things I do are really dumb, and we'll talk about that one tonight. Oh, my gosh. Mike, how was your weekend?
You're looking great.
Thank you, man. I've lost.
That doesn't answer your question, but you're looking great.
I won't brag, but I've lost about 16, 18 pounds.
That's
only
impressive.
because Lisa's kept me on a pretty strict diet.
Yeah.
No, it's not a strict diet at all. We're just eating
smart,
correctly.
logical.
Yeah, it's just eating right.
Yeah.
And I've lost. I mean, I'm still. I was at 210 pounds. It's the heaviest I ever weighed in my life. And it's just huge. I'm not exercising. I'm not doing anything.
You say that,
but
but you're incredibly active.
I am active,
Which is equally,
Actually,
if not probably better than an exercise.
it has made me actually a little bit more active. Does that make sense?
It totally does.
You're not as tired. You're not as sluggish. or something.
I don't know how you are as active as you are, given the amount of time that you have. But you're incredibly active.
I don't either. I don't watch TV. I think that makes
That's a huge chunk.
we watch a late night little something every now and then when those episodes. With Netflix, the good thing is you can get it all in one day. Yeah. You're not there every single night like you used to be.
And it's on your schedule.
And it's on your schedule. Yeah. Exactly right. So that is absolutely where we're at. So, man, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We love that you're here. We love that you're just participating in it. Let's just throw a quick shout out. We'll talk about the camping trip more toward the end of the show, but right now we're about to get in some really good meat and potatoes. The camping trip's coming up December 2nd and 3rd. You're more than welcome to come that Friday. We'll be hanging out the island that Friday, which is December 1st. That's usually when just a small group gets out there. It's way before the camping trip actually starts, but, some good friends come out, and we're just start hanging out. We set up the island at that point. If it's kind of raw, it's not really. That's mine. I'll turn that down. Man, it's been a while since I've done that one. So
what? Since you done what?
Since I left my volume
got
up.
a booty call?
Yeah, no, none of those. Those are long gone. Thank God. So, and there we have it. So, Ixnay on the Udi Bay, okay, you know what I'm saying? So, Mike, I love the camouflage.
Do you really?
I do, man.
It's my first time donning it.
I know.
And I did it strictly because...
it is duck season.
Exactly right.
Duck
Good call.
season. Which leads us into our first weekend of duck season. You know what I'm saying?
What started when? What date was that?
The date was the 18th, which was Saturday morning.
Okay, so it's the 21st for those keeping score.
Yeah, today's the 21st, absolutely. Yeah. This is the new Rodney Rogers Outdoors shirt. Todd printed up for us. We got it on the side. This is what we have, you'll see. But so our duck season started out this weekend just like every other duck season, and this is my 17th duck season.
That's
this
crazy.
Is my 17th year. I've been doing this straight, nonstop for 17 years. The only thing else I've done that long straight is breathe.
Yeah, and you've done a really good job at that.
The breathing or duck season?
No, the breathing for sure.
I'm doing a real good job.
Well, let's start with the duck season. We got other things to talk about that surrounded your duck season this weekend, but let's start with actually.
Well, we cranked up. We got the new duck boat. I was really excited about this. I mean, this is like I really thought. We found the ducks. The video that you see right here in the beginning was the ducks that we kicked up that day.
Yeah, that was a week ago.
Yes, that was a week ago. And those ducks were not there. I don't know where those particular ducks were, but
same lake, same location,
same spot, bro. I mean, literally, via the GPS, it was the same exact spot.
Because the video we played during the opening, I mean, it's squadrons of ducks.
Yes, and that's exactly where I hunted. That video is exactly where I hunted. We seen our good friend of ours out there. I believe it's Chad. Okay. We seen out there. He was like. Heck yeah, man, dude, hey, I thought you were hunting Lake Kissimmee. I said, no, this is my secret location right here. Mm-hmm. I may have thrown a few people off here and there. There was a lot of boats out there. We got there at 3 a.m. Lisa and I loaded the boat at 3 a.m. We're headed down there at 2 a.m. to get there at 3 a.m. We got there at 3 a.m. exactly. Todd was waiting on us. The boats, I mean, there was 20-plus boats out there
Why
already.
3 a.m.?
Well, normally I show up around 4 a.m. Sunrise.
Can you start shooting before?
No.
You really can't, right? I mean, you got to see the ducks.
Legal
first.
shoot time for this weekend was Saturday was 6:50.
Okay, so there actually is a time you can start.
There is a time that you're legally supposed to fire off. Sunday is 6:51. Now, I will not fire a shot before 6:50, only because now people do, and they did. This was no different. They started shooting about 20 after 6. Which is illegal. That's poaching. If you fire that shotgun off before 6:20, you are now a poacher.
Is there even any light at 6:20?
There is. There's, in my opinion, plenty of light.
Okay.
You could identify. You can, but it's considered sunrise. They got to give it a time. They don't say 20 minutes before sunrise.
Right.
They have to give it a time, and legal time is sunrise to sunset. Sunrise this weekend was 6:50 on Saturday, 6:51 on Sunday. Only a minute difference. And now that progressively is longer as the year goes by. So I did not fire the first shot until 6:50 exactly. And I shot a blue-wing teal exactly at 6:50, and I forgot to give you that picture so we could post it.
So back up but why launch? Why go out there too and launch at 3?
Okay, so
you got almost 4 hours.
We normally set up around 4 because the problem is getting there early. You get a parking spot, one.
So that really is an issue.
It's a factor. I mean, it's definitely a factor. So you got to get there really early just to get you a parking spot.
That's bizarre.
Yeah, and you got to get out there to the people were already. There was people in the water at midnight. I mean, Nick and Nico, they were on the water at midnight and already could not get to their spots because there was already people in them. So what time those people got there, who knows?
Do you have a light indicating I'm here? I mean, because obviously it's pitch dark.
That's exactly right. So basically what you do is when you go out there, first of all, you got to leave your bow lights on. You got to leave your running lights on.
Okay.
You have your bow and you have your stern.
So those are easily spottable.
Right. So you just leave them on. If you're sleeping, you get in your duck spot, you put out your decoys, and then you pile up and you just leave your lights on. You take a nap, sleep. You do whatever you have to do out there. So that signifies people. Now, once you hear people start coming in, you know, if your lights are off, you're piled up in your bushes, which they shouldn't be off, but we turn them off. You just kind of flash your light. Hey, I'm here.
Here's somebody coming. Yeah,
absolutely. Okay. Next thing you know, man, there's just like an army of boats coming in. So we weren't the only one that found the ducks there this year. So there was probably, my gosh, I want to say 25, 30 boats there, respectively. You know, at least
in a given. What kind of radius? What kind of square
let's
acreage?
Put it this way. I had my binoculars, and I'm looking at, and I'm counting the boats, the blinds that are within 200 yards of me, and there was 13.
Okay.
No, 16. I'm sorry, 16 boats.
Okay.
It was just, and that's like, this is within the 200-yard range.
Seems dangerous.
Well, the pellets of a shotgun, especially steel shot, can travel effectively to kill a duck about 35 yards.
Okay.
Max. It's 65, 70 feet. You know,
that helps.
Yeah, there's some claims. You could kill a duck at 50, 60 yards, but it's just a few pellets. You might get a lucky pellet, you know, and get down in there.
So if nobody's within 60 to 80 yards directly in front of you or your shot range, shape, you're fine.
Now, they will get rained on with pellets. You know, the pellets will just like rain. This is weird. The pellets just rain down, water splashes. We didn't get rain with pellets this year. I'm surprised, but we didn't see any. You know, so it's just that thing. You know, you want to keep a good distance, and 90% of the hunters want that distance as well. No one wants to shoot at anybody.
Sure, yeah.
You know, because sometimes you get a low flying teal, which is what I did. You know, I had a teal flying literally 15 feet off the water, so it's almost a straight right at him shot. You know, just and you're following. And when I pull that shot up, I'm looking at two things. I'm looking at that duck, and I'm also looking at my horizon. I want to make sure there's nobody in that horizon. Be it a fish. We had fishermen around us.
Split-second decision.
It is. It is a split-second decision. It's taken 17 years to perfect that decision.
So you got a blue teal. Let me ask you this.
Blue-winged teal, yeah.
Blue-winged teal. There's multiple. What is the golden ticket?
Each person
is it a mallard? What is the golden ticket?
No, each person has their own golden ticket.
Okay.
Mine would be different from someone else's.
Okay.
Someone may want a ruddy duck. Someone may want a canvasback. Some people are collecting each duck and having each duck mounted a pair. Most duck hunters want pairs.
Really?
They want the male and female of every species mounted in their trophy room.
No kidding.
And I'm no different. I would love to have that. I just don't have the room for that. They taste too good. I love. First of all, they're delicious, and two, you know, it's a lot of money. You know, to get a quality mount on a duck, you're looking anywhere from $300 to $500. That's a quality duck hunt. So, yes, you can. Patrick asked, "Can you hunt ducks on weekdays?" Yes, you can hunt ducks.
That's a good question.
A lot of people. Well, some areas. Now, Patrick, that's actually a good question because Emeralda Marsh, which is one of my favorite duck hunting areas, it's only Friday and Saturday and Sunday. That's it. So that's a great question. Depends on where you're hunting. Public land. When I say public, I mean lakes. You know, open water lakes like Lake Toho and some lakes. You know, I hear that you can hunt on some parts of Butler Chain.
Really?
Yeah. You know, those are every day during the week, sunrise to sunset, you know. So, yes, that's actually a great question.
That's a really good
and some areas,
never thought about that.
Yeah, some areas of the country you can only, I kicked a few ducks yesterday while kayaking. But, yeah, you know, so, and you can hunt out of a kayak. I have shot my first wood duck out of a kayak. Duck hunter took me out.
I shot my first kayak out of a wood duck. Is that kind of the same thing?
It's a little bit of the same thing, but the opposite. So, I'm sorry, I went off on a tangent.
I'll try to keep it down.
Yeah. So it's you know, it's the weekdays are a little slower because everybody works. This holiday weekend, it'll be full. I'll be hunting as well. Fortunately, I will be hunting as well. So, yeah, the key is to get there early, get set up, because you got a lot of setup to do. You've got about an hour's worth of setup. You got your blind to set up. You got your location. You got your decoys to put out, all in certain directions.
Yep.
I did not have my mojos this year. My mojos are the flapping ducks.
Yeah.
Remember when we broke the glass? We have still not told your wife that we broke.
Last year.
We cleaned up.
That was classic.
Yeah, she probably thought
it's gonna be awesome.
She thinks it's still here. She hasn't been in your office in a while, so she thinks it's still here. But we trashed it. If she's watching, we're in trouble. But it's it's just so. But the golden ticket you were speaking of, is everybody has their own golden ticket.
What are the main ones? Mallard? Is a mallard even a ticket?
Yes, a mallard is a ticket. It's a ticket for us because we don't get to see them very often. We're only allowed to shoot 2. So mallards are tickets for us. I've never shot a mallard. I know
really?
my nephew Nico has. He shot a mallard. I've never shot a mallard. So there are ticket items. Mine for the longest time was a wood duck. The wood duck was my ticket item. Wood ducks are beautiful, and it's just. And I've shot several wood ducks over the years now. So, it was my ticket item. Do I have it mounted? I do not have it mounted. So, it's like I said, they taste pretty good.
Yeah.
Wood ducks are delicious. Blue-winged teal was my ticket item for a while. I shot a blue-winged teal.
Well, people hunt for different reasons.
Absolutely. They
some
really
it is strictly to put it on the wall.
Some it's strictly to get that duck on the wall, and some it's strictly to eat. This year, my goal was to make a pate.
Really?
Oh, with my duck livers, yeah. So, I plan on making a good pate. I've never made a pate. I want to, pardon me, sir, I'd like to make some pate of your liver, sir.
I'm a pate fan.
So I want to make a good pate, fresh, and I want to do it on the show. I want us to do it together, film the whole spiel.
Oh, please, yeah.
Kind of, the old King for a Day series deal. And we'll do pate. I'm sorry, I got to move my mic up just a hair. Joe Bird, how are you, buddy? McFly. Woo. Lifesaver.
McFly. I'd like to get McFly's perspective, which we got to dig into sooner than later because it's 20 after.
Yeah, we need to get the crack at lacking. So that's why you want to set up. So we set up, and we set up on the outskirts. And the reason I chose the location that I did set up, it was on the outskirts. We were on the far eastern side of all the hunters. Now, there's a lot of cattails. The hurricane knocked down a lot of cattails. But there's still a lot left on the east side of Lake Toho, which is where all the ducks were. I did not choose to go up in that because there was just so many boats there. And I had 2 hunters on the boat that just really, my nephew Todd that's been out a couple times. I've had him out a couple times. And then Lisa, who has never been out. I didn't want to shove them in the midst of, 25, 30 boats. Crossfire. There's a lot of things that goes on. Sometimes your boat gets hit pretty hard by pellets. And that's just not the stress that I wanted to put on the people that was with me.
That would stress me out,
Yeah. Now, so we hunted the outskirts, which we had just as, we had some shots at ducks. I seen some guys sky busting. Now, sky busting is a term that people use when they're shooting at ducks that are absolutely 100% way too high. And they're like, well, hell with it. I got the shells. Blam, blam, blam. Those shells are about $1 a piece.
Sky busting, really?
Sky busting.
So is there a respectable angle that you're shooting for?
It's what every shell that I've ever bought, I've put on a target range and shot at 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 yards. I've backed up as I've shot to see what kind of pattern and what my most effective distance is. Now, you have to do that with lead shot, steel shot, especially with steel shot. And a lot of people don't know what the steel shot, the effective range of their steel shot is. And that's what's important. You have to test these things out way before you get out there on that field because as an ethical hunter, you want to know what your ethical shot is. You may have hit that duck, and that duck will fly down, and he'll get down, and he'll just, it may take him 500 yards to hit that water.
Good point.
That duck cannot fly again, ever. That duck is done. That duck is alligator bait. You just harvested a duck, and 99% of the hunters will shoot another duck to replace the one he just killed.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
I still don't have 6 in my boat.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? You just killed that duck.
Right, yeah.
You're done. That counts to your 6 in my eyes. I will shoot 6 ducks, period. That's how I shoot. So
you know what you shot.
Yeah, and I won't sky bust because it's just not worth it.
Sky busting.
It's $1 a shot.
Sounds fun though.
It does. You're just firing off a shotgun just to see what your effective range is. You're testing it out on the water, wrong place. You should be testing that out on a range. So, So, we were out there just like everybody else. We hunted on the outskirts. Literally, we got one shot at a duck. It was a teal that came in. Actually, Lisa goes, "Are those ducks right there?" Because this is Lisa's stage of just trying to identify.
Sure, of course. Yeah.
And she understood how confusing it was. Is that a duck? Is that a duck? And she goes, "I'm sorry, I'm bothering you." I go, "No, by all means, please."
I drive down the highway and see birds landing in those little ponds, and I wonder the same thing.
You want to know if it's a duck.
Yeah. Can I shoot this? I mean,
that's, you know what? Now she's looking at every pond. I mean, she got a razor, blah, blah, blah. And that's the key. That's the only way you're going to be able to identify these,
Yep.
You have to know what you're shooting at. So, and I said, sweetie, just by all means, point out everything you think is a duck, especially if I don't see it. Well, sure enough, she goes, "Are those ducks?" And they were all just swallows.
Are coots ducks?
Coots are waterfowl. They call them water chickens. It's a waterfowl. It's called there's a name for them. A coot and water, so
I derailed. Yeah, I get
it falls under the waterfowl.
Okay. But you're saying that those are just swallows, as you were saying.
But she was pointing out the swallows. And as I spun around to see these swallows, this blue-winged teal was basically sneaking about 15 feet off the water at 45 miles an hour, and that's how fast they fly when they're in a scoot. And she was cooking, man. I had literally 2 seconds to look at my background, pull up, and shoot that duck. Blam! One shot I had all day, and I nailed that duck. It was just like plop, 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 plop. So as far as duck season goes, I am 100%. I just want to point out, I'm 100% right now.
Do you know it took me an hour and 48 minutes to get to work today?
Really?
On a commute that's usually 40 to 45 minutes.
You were looking at ducks, wasn't you?
Nope.
Okay.
Because I-4 is, you got to choose my words, sick.
Yeah, it is.
And partially because there are people of all experiences and levels and abilities on I-4.
Right.
And every time you drive onto an on-ramp, you're dealing with
all of them.
All that range.
Yes.
Similarly to being out on Lake Toho.
Right.
You may have a Rodney Rogers who's been doing it for 18 years.
Right.
But you're also got every other rainbow range of experience on that lake. So when you're see that blue teal flying by and you're making those split-second decisions, not everybody has 18 years of experience.
Exactly. And it honestly makes that bit of difference, and that's what makes you a bit of an ethical hunter. I've got Lisa, who's never shot ducks, and I've got Todd, who has shot ducks, and he's starting to get the identifying of ducks just down pat. He's starting to notice ducks. It's important that you teach those new people the proper way. It's up to them to take that knowledge and apply it properly. Does that make sense?
It totally does.
And it is my goal to try to teach you properly. Now, you're going to have your own ways, and sometimes I'm not perfect by any means. But I shot that duck at 650 on the nose. On the nose, 650. By the time I looked at my watch to see what time I shot, it had rolled to 651.
Well, let me ask you this. Ignorance is bliss.
Yes.
So if you're out there and don't really understand what all's going on, you can just have a good time.
No one's arresting you.
But I've never been duck hunting, so let me put that out there. But I know just enough to know that if I would go out there with you, there's a lot of things I should probably be afraid about. How do you set up for duck hunting? How do you put yourself in a position where these variables of all the inexperienced people that are on that same highway with you?
Pull yourself out. Pull yourself away. So basically, that's why it's important to get there early, establish your territory, and if someone gets what you feel is too close, just keep shining your light, and if they're close enough to hear you, just say, "Look, bro, I feel you're too close. Can
I shoot a warning shot?"
Just right at them. Just make sure you gotta pepper them when you do that. You gotta make sure the pellets hit their.
Can I what do you call it? Sky bomb, sky bust? Yeah. Okay.
So let's see. Do you travel to duck hunt or stick to Florida? No, Michael. I would love to travel to duck hunt. I really would. Absolutely would love to travel. And Patrick talks about chokes of shotguns. Now that we've had a show on chokes, full choke, and all different types. It's he says liver is gross. I love liver. So so it's important to establish your area. I tried really hard to find a new area to hunt this morning. I knew Toho would be filled up every year. It gets more and more people. There's a lot of ducks out there. It's It's a great place to duck hunt.
So that's why you go earlier and earlier.
And every year it's been earlier and earlier. So there's times I've slept in the boat. We got there at 10 o'clock at night, slept in the boat, establish our territory. But that was when I was hunting my nephew, a little bit more experience, and I feel a little more comfortable sleeping with someone with a little bit more experience. When I take new people, I like to follow the protocol. Here's a great way to do it. There's 100 different ways to do it, and it's important to point out that even the most of experience makes mistakes. You're never ready.
Of course, yeah, it makes sense.
For those mistakes that come at you out of left field.
So let's transition.
Let's do it.
Because first of all, it's a dangerous playing field.
It is
because you're talking live ammunition, and you're not alone.
Right. Exactly right. So, and Lisa brought up this question. She says, I'm in the middle of the boat. What's my firing range if I had to fire? She goes, I think I'll just not fire this time.
I would take the same approach.
She said, I think I'll just take pictures and I'll just study of what the ducks were. And honestly, that has to be a choice made by the person doing that. If I got in there and said, look, I'm not taking you a shotgun, you're just going to sit there and watch. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
That's not the approach you want to take. I took the shotgun. It was her option to hunt. I would point out, here's the deal. If there was a ton of ducks like we saw on the first day and they were within range, I'd just say shoot. That's your shot right there. I would focus on that. The two people shooting.
Sure, yeah.
I didn't want to shoot the duck that I shot, but, no one else had saw it.
Yeah.
So pretty much I had to shoot it. Now, Todd was facing the other direction, not by any fault of his. I said, you watch that side, I'll watch this side. Kind of thing.
So you got this duck at 7:50 a.m.
6:50 a.m.
6:50 a.m. Sorry. Yeah.
Exactly. So Todd was on the front of the boat. He had a 180-degree field of range. So he had from here all the way to here.
Yep.
Great shooting range. If I saw something coming from his direction, I'd say, Todd 9 o'clock, Todd 11 o'clock. So you just slowly spin around, you make your shot. I had that same field of range, 180 degrees.
On the opposite
side. But together we had that full range covered. Now, funny thing, my buddy Manny says, I told him that same thing, 180 range, blah, blah, blah. He didn't see some ducks coming in. I start firing. He ducks down. He goes, so let me guess.
Wait, Manny?
Manny, our buddy, I took McFly.
Not this year, though.
No, it was several years ago.
Okay.
And he goes, let me guess. That field of range thing is merely suggestive. Kind of made me laugh. Sometimes I get a little excited. I didn't say I was 100%. I did say sometimes I get excited.
It's a recommendation.
So Lisa was just as happy to watch. She was literally glued on all these. Is that a duck? Is that a duck? Is that a duck? And I'm going, no. And I'm pointing this out. No, that's a heron. That's a scrub jay. That's a coot. But by pointing, if I just said no, that's not a duck. You can't identify. You have to picture that's a coot. So you're able to. So you're laughing. You're seeing the.
No, I'm laughing because you look good, Rodney.
Oh, do I?
Yeah.
Man, I love looking good.
Yeah.
So it's important that I go. That's a heron. That's a cormorant. That's a So you got to point out. So you don't know it, but you're mentally logging in.
Yes.
The coot.
Makes
the
sense.
heron.
Sure. Yeah.
And the swallows and the blackbirds, the K-rows.
You're archiving this information.
You're archiving.
Sure, you are.
The next time you see him, you're going in your mind, oh, K-row, oh, coot.
Yeah.
This, that. That's how you're learning. That is literally how you're digesting the information that you're swallowing, and that's key. And that's absolutely key. So, our absolute. What is he?
No, 25 minutes left.
We're cranking
and we
gotta,
let's get to
So our absolute, one of our goals this weekend was obviously to hunt. The second was not to have mistakes.
How many ducks did you come home with?
So I came home with one. I fired one shot, killed one duck. I'm 100%. That was the only duck.
How many ducks came home on the boat?
One.
Didn't Todd get one?
No. Todd is still Todd. Okay. And I'm gonna tell you here in a second. Todd says I'm looking for a new guide. Period. And I don't blame you, Todd. I would look for a new guide.
Todd 262-345-776.
Yeah. So yeah. Can we take two calls at once?
No,
not yet.
No.
Okay, so we'll get the first perspective, then we'll get the second perspective. So basically, here's what happened. So I went to pick up the duck. We set back up, and we sat there for about 10 minutes, and I said, you know what? I want to get Todd his first wood duck. I know where there's a lot of wood ducks. I said, hey, Todd, let's pick up these wood ducks. let's put these wood ducks, these decoys. Now, as I'm coming into he goes, okay, deal, let's go.
Yeah.
So I start folding in the new blind that I made.
Brought in the outriggers.
It's amazing, this blind.
Yep.
I fold it over. As I'm coming into the decoys, I have to make a sharp right turn to get to the first decoy. And as I do, my tiller motor, the handle, swings out, and the grass from the blind catches on the throttle.
Because your throttle's on the handle.
My throttle's on the handle
Yeah.
like a bicycle brake.
Yeah.
It's exactly like a brake
Yeah.
of a bicycle. So as I swung it, it hit the throttle, and it kind of went, "Rrr." It kind of throttled forward. But at that point, the throttle had shoved up inside of the grass mat. And I went, oh, crap. Now it's starting to go, bub. We went from idle to a little bit faster moving till all of a sudden, as I looked, and this is the first thing I thought of, I do not have that cord, my emergency cord, strapped to my waist. First thing I thought of. Now, all this is I'm at the back of the boat. I'm looking at the motor. The throttle's throttling up, and I go, oh, crap, I don't have that. So my hand is on it.
Which is usually where?
Which is usually clipped to my body to the emergency cutoff switch.
Okay.
It's just a emergency pull cord.
Okay.
I didn't clip it because we were only going.
So if you fall overboard, it turns off the motor.
You fall overboard, it turns the engine off, kills the engine.
Yeah.
So anything that's going wrong just kills the engine.
Sure.
So I immediately went, crap, I didn't buckle that. I need to pull that cord because we're throttling up and it's caught up in the grass and I can't work it out because if I try, it'll throttle up. Now, all this is going through my head and all this is happening within milliseconds.
Very quickly.
It's happening very quickly. Well, because the throttle throttled up in that grass, it forced a little more pressure on the turn of the motor. So the throttle went up, the motor turned a little more, the throttle opened up a little more. It was a chain reaction.
You meaning it turned as far as direction?
Direction,
swang
exactly.
to one side.
It swung out because of pressure, and it swung a little more. Chain reaction. The farther the throttle went up, the more pressure it put, the more thrust it put, the wider the throttle opened. And it now mind you, it's not happening this slow. This all happened in the blink of an eye. It went from I went, oh crap. My throttle's hooked in that grass too wide open. The pressure slammed that throttle, that joystick, the tiller handle into the grass.
Sure.
And we went from idle to wide open in the blink of an eye. Now, when it shoved that wide open, it shot me to the opposite direction, the opposite side of the boat. At that point, if I would have had that emergency cord strapped to me,
it would have killed the engine.
It would have killed the engine.
Yep.
We would have righted. We would have all laughed about it, and I would have said, holy crap. I would have got my butt kicked, pressured. Sure. I almost sank the boat, blah, blah, blah. That is not what happened. As that motor turns, this motor is not like an outboard. As it swings higher. It swings like this.
So it kicked the boat even harder.
So it kicked the boat harder and actually drove the opposite side down. So the thrust was basically pushing us to the bottom of the lake.
So the nose went up and the butt
nose
end
went up,
down.
The stern went down, and it literally drove us to the bottom of the lake. It drove us to the bottom of the lake in less than 5 seconds. Let's put it this way. When Lisa and Todd looked at me and looked back, Lisa looked at me and Todd looked at me, and they knew by the look on my face that this was a dire situation. I had lost control, and there's no coming back from this. Now, me knowing what the whole situation was, what was going on at every moment, I knew it wasn't a death murder.
You at least knew what was going on.
I knew what was going on.
Yeah.
They didn't. As far as they're concerned, I'm having another heart attack.
Sure.
I'm caught.
That's what I would have thought.
Yeah, I'm caught in a prop. They got a glimpse of a few hundredths of a second.
The boat's going wacky and Rodney's laying on his back.
They knew if Rodney lost control, something has gone really wrong.
Yeah.
and this is not good. So if one of y'all are listening, give us a call, right? Just Lisa or
Todd,
whichever one. Let me.
So to cut to the chase.
So cut to the chase. We sank the boat in less than 5 seconds. Is the call coming in? Todd's calling.
Have him make sure he's calling the hotline rather than your number.
Hey, Todd.
To accept, press
Yeah, it's the hotline.
press 2.
I'm not seeing him, Rodney.
Okay.
Have him call back.
Okay, Todd, call back. This boat sank within 5 seconds. So by the time Todd he was standing on the deck. He saw me. Something was going wrong. He was running back to me. He stepped from the bow to the deck. We were sank.
That quick.
That quick. One step.
Holy smokes.
So as fast as. Can you take it? Can you see it? Hey, Todd. Hello? Can you hear me now? Hello? You got me? Hey, Todd? Oh. Let's see. Okay. Hey, Todd, call back. Hold on. Let me get this in. I'm going to send him a number. 262-345-7763. So, literally from the deck we had literally sank. There we go. Okay.
Rodney, you need a life preserver?
Can you pick it up? Hey, Todd, can you hear me?
Hey, Nick.
Hey, Todd?
Go ahead and
No, I'm not hearing you.
Ropes through their eyes
Oh.
and loop it to, you know what I'm saying?
So basically, the video you're seeing is Manny came out. So, man, this was. Okay, here we go. Okay.
You got me?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you fine.
Okay, we got another call. We got 2 calls coming in.
Hey, you guys have coffee over there?
Hold on. Okay, so the second call.
All heck is breaking
Yeah.
loose, Rodney.
I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good now.
Can you hear me?
We're good. All systems go.
Awesome.
Okay, hold on, Todd. I'm gonna have Lisa hold on 1 second.
Okay.
So we're watching video here now.
We got one.
Okay, so Todd, right now we got the video up of Manny hooking us up. So Todd, obviously you know what was wrong. You were there. I really haven't had a chance to talk to Todd to get his full perspective. I know him and Lisa look back, and Todd, I don't even know what you saw. Can you kind of give me a brief synopsis of what you saw there?
Yeah, I was just standing on the bow of the boat. We picked up that duck you got. We were going to turn around and hit them decoys, and the boat bumped a little bit, and I thought you were just goofing around. And when I turned around, by then the motor was wide open. You were leaning on the side of the boat like something bad happened. Like, oh, man, he's either hurt, passed out, or something. By the time I took a step towards you, it was done.
It
started taking on water instantly.
I mean, would you say what time frame would you say it took us to sink that boat?
Oh, that thing went to the bottom in 5 seconds, 10 seconds maybe.
Wow.
Yeah.
It wasn't enough time to open the latch. You said, get the latch, get the latch. I opened the latch to pull the life jackets out, and I was pulling 3 of them out as it was going underwater.
Yeah.
Like, it was just blindly feeling it. I went down with the boat, pulling life jackets out.
So as my feet got wet and I knew we were sinking, I looked at Todd. Now, man, this is such a man, I don't even know where to start with this. Todd was like still trying to figure out what was going on. He's trying to process this. Now, here's the key to emergency situations. First, you got to process what's going on. Now, mind you, I've had way more time to process this than Lisa and Todd. You know, Todd is standing on the life preservers. These life preservers are locked in a hatch, locked away, nice and safe, out of our way, locked in a hatch. A protocol which I haven't even told Todd where these are. You know, this is a situation I've never said, hey, Todd, those life preservers are in that hatch. You know, so we're like starting from fresh.
Yeah, I had no clue where they were. I never thought about it.
And this is split second, because again, you're ahead of the curve.
I'm ahead of the curve.
You know what's going on.
I know what's going down.
These guys don't.
They have no clue. I haven't pre-warned them. There's no time to pre-warn them. All I said was life preservers. Grab the life preservers. Now, I'm telling him to grab the life preservers as if he knows where they are. He has no clue. He don't even know where to start. He's like, okay, he's looking around. So he's got to process us sinking, me being hurt in whatever fashion that I'm hurt in.
So here's what's amazing to me, Todd, is that you're all of a sudden something's not normal. Next thing you know, you're in the water.
You're knee
This
deep.
isn't Rodney happening. You and Lisa are in the water, submerged.
So, yeah.
But by the time you thought a process, like something happened to him, maybe he passed out. Who knows what happened? By the time that went in my head, water was already coming in.
Yeah, that point, water's
There wasn't
rushing.
no like, okay, I'm gonna yell at him. It was, oh crap, something's wrong, and then it was going.
And this is where, I think now what was the look on my face? I don't know. I can only tell you from my perspective.
The look on your face was shock and pretty much like a oh crap, what's going on? Look, like,
right.
Like that, like you had a car accident, like that.
Yeah,
son,
Exactly. Yes.
Gotcha.
Oh no.
Okay. Now, when I spoke to you, I don't know how. I just remember telling you, was I in a panic mode? Was I like, hey,
You were just get the life jackets. They're in the cupboard. Open the hatch, get the life jackets.
Okay.
And by the time that process in my head, I was like, we need life jackets.
Yeah. Because I honestly, there's time. It happened so fast. There was times that I was kind of blanked out, and I don't remember what was going on. I just remember trying to process it, trying to get everything in order. I wanted them to have their life jackets on because I knew we were sinking. And if you remember, Todd, that I had you check the depth about how long before that?
Oh,
really?
not long before that.
So
Wow.
not long before that, I had Todd check the depth. Now, the reason
Oh.
I didn't have my depth finder on the boat, I always want to know how deep I'm duck hunting. And there's a reason. I never want to duck hunt in deeper than 10 feet of water
Why?
because I can't stand on my boat if the boat sinks. Does that make sense?
That's bizarre.
That saves our lives.
I never want to hunt in deep water, and it's just a personal preference. I always want to be able, if I need to get out of the boat. It is just the way I've always hunted. It is just that thing that I've always had a pet peeve for. So I had Todd check the depth. And how deep did you say it was, Todd, when you checked that depth?
About 7-ish. Between 7
Okay,
and
so
8.
That's crazy.
So in my mind, I figured, okay, we're about 7 feet deep. We're okay. 6, 7 feet. We had estimated about 6, 7 feet, and we're okay. And I said, okay, this is where we're going to hunt. Am I wrong, Todd, or am I kind of hitting on the money?
No, that's exactly right.
So I kind of, in a sense, I try to plan for the worst case scenario, but you never know when that worst case scenario is coming, and you never know how fast it's coming. Literally, it's just absolutely barrels into you in a minute. So, Todd, what was your biggest fear at that point? I mean, here we are.
My biggest fear at first was once it happened, I was like, okay, this is what's happening. I know what's going on. You can't stop it. My biggest thing was making sure the three of us at least stayed together and at least had life jackets.
Okay, so you were kind of building a plan in your head as well.
At first, I couldn't feel the boat at first because it's like panic. I'm trying to kick my feet and swim, like what's going on. And then I made sure Lisa had a life jacket. I threw one to you, and I had one for me. I was like, at least we have that.
Right.
Because in all actuality, if that boat wasn't there, we wouldn't have made it.
Exactly right. So
by the time I climbed the back of Randy's boat, I was done. I was out of energy. You're talking about swimming with boots, jackets, all that stuff on.
Yeah, we got waders on, we got jackets on. Yeah, and plus, I mean, were your toes cold? Were you shivering?
Oh, it's freezing.
Okay, so, I mean, we were in the first stages, literally the first stages of hypothermia. So, I mean...
That's a factor we hadn't mentioned yet.
No, we haven't even mentioned that. We had 65-degree water.
Up. I was cramped up and being in that cold water.
What was the one thing you grabbed, Todd, out of my bucket and you said it still works?
The Porter Gable cordless drill.
Well, that, and then what else? What else? The temperature gauge that I had in my hunting bucket.
The temperature gauge.
So the temperature gauge is in my hunting bucket. I always like to check water temperature.
Really?
And there's a reason. I like to check water temperature because I want to know how long I can survive in cold water. I want to know how cold the water is, things that I have to do. Now,
it was chilly.
All this is in the back of my head. And literally, it's so far in the back of my head, it's just a worst case scenario. Now, having planned for all this worst case scenario, I still failed the most simple of safety measures that could have averted this whole operation.
Which was?
Putting on my safety cord to pull that engine, to shut that engine off. Literally 100%. I could have put that on and avoided this whole information, this
Sure.
whole thing.
Yep.
Now, mind you, I keep that thing in my bucket, my hunt bucket, just strictly for water temperature. I want to know if the ducks. It's a thing that I do.
That might be the most powerful tool you've mentioned because there's so many facets.
Oh, there's so many facets of that thing. So, Todd, we kind of have we learned a lot about this? I mean, we learned so much protocol about this.
Yep, I learned one thing for sure. We all need to know where life jackets are.
Absolutely.
And besides keeping an eye on each other, like normally, shoot the boat, shoot the person with you, that kind of stuff, is we all need to learn a plan.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So if it happens again, hey, you grab the life jackets. Everybody has one. We stick together. We find a way to survive this.
So what we're saying is, on an
It's
airplane,
an accident and it happens.
On an airplane, when they tell you where the exits are,
Listen.
there's a reason.
Yeah.
If I tell you, hey, Todd, those
Well, Rodney, we might have been moving through this so fast that we haven't really explained the very basics of what had happened.
Okay, Todd, I'm gonna call you. We'll talk to you later. We're gonna take this next call.
All right, awesome. Have a good night.
All right, man. So, okay,
I think we're coming here.
are we coming in?
I think it's a computer. Hello?
Hello.
There she is, and it's still ringing.
It's,
Do we got more people calling?
no, have her, Lisa, call us back.
Okay, bye.
All right.
I think it's just a glitch on the phone. We'll see if this.
Okay.
But we haven't actually cut to the point. You sank the boat.
So the bottom line is, I sank the boat. There we go.
Yeah.
So we forgot to tell the most important thing is I did in fact sink the boat. It's still going to ring. And will it stop? Hold on. Hang in there, Lisa. Hold on.
Okay.
We'll see.
Okay. We got it? Can you hear me, Lisa?
I can hear you.
Oh, what is that?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
This is called live broadcast.
The funny
Lisa,
thing
hang up and wait 30 seconds, then call us back.
Yeah, it.
Oh.
Okay, it keeps ringing. So
It's a glitch.
the fact is are they seeing this
Yes,
video? Okay,
they
so
are.
you're watching a video where we actually what I'm standing on, and the cooler is our Sportsman cooler, our 200 quart, and it's actually tied to the engine of the boat. So we have to get this stuff off of the engine before we can pull this boat up. The boat is actually sank in 7 feet of water right then and there. And what I'm standing on is the boat because I cannot touch bottom.
Exactly. We haven't mentioned this. Yeah.
Yeah.
The boat is on the bottom of the water.
The boat is
Literally.
absolutely on the bottom of the lake.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Oh, still doing it again. What is that?
Oh,
Hold on
I don't know.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on.
Lisa, are you making this sound? Do 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 do.
No.
So can you hear that sound?
No, I cannot.
Okay, you can't hear it, but I'm sure everybody on
No.
the show can hear it. Will it stop, you think?
Darn it.
Hold
Okay.
on. Give it a second. Let's just see if it stops.
Hang tight with this second,
Hang-
Lisa.
yeah, hang-
Mute it for a second. You're
Yeah.
still on the line.
You're still on the
below
line, but we just got it muted to see if maybe it rings through. So right here, you see Manny and Stacy on their boat. This is the power we needed to put my plan together. I had a evil plan.
This is happening so fast, and we got like 10 minutes left.
I know.
But we haven't even mentioned how did Manny and Stacy even get there?
Okay, so I know we're rushing.
We spent too much time on duck hunting. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I know. So basically, what happened was thank God I had an iPhone, which is a waterproof
Hey,
phone.
Lisa's back, and it's not.
Lisa, are you here?
Oh, hey. Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
okay,
here.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically,
So, yeah, he pulls that fabulous iPhone out of his pocket that is waterproof.
Ta-da!
yes, ta-da.
Called
we got a sound
Manny
effect
and
for that.
Stacy.
The funny thing is I called Nick. Nick and
He called-
Nico are actually duck hunting as well. They're about 1.5 miles away.
Yeah, this is key. I mean, this
is key.
This is amazing.
So we know they're hunting there as well. So I called Nick and Nico, and I go, "Hey, Nick." He goes, "Yeah." He talks real quietly, like he's deer hunting. He says, "Yeah, man. What's up? What's up, brother? Yeah, what's up?" I said, "Hey." He said, he goes, "You got any ducks yet? You killed anything yet?" I said, "No. I need your help." He goes, "What do you need? You need some bullets or something? You need some bullets?" I go, "No, bro. I sank the boat." He goes, no, for real, man. I need to know what you
For
need.
real.
I said, bro, I'm in a dire situation. It's exactly what I said. I said, I'm in a dire situation. I sank the boat. He goes, I'm on my way. He hung up the phone. He didn't even ask where I was.
He left everything.
He left his
He
decoys. He had, he had
canoe.
a canoe there waiting on. He just left.
Kayak, whatever. He left it.
And I looked at Lisa. I said, we're dead because he's never going to know where we are. He's just going to drive around and approach every duck hunter and say, hey, man, you got a sinking boat? Or is your boat sunk? I just need to know. So Nick
then you say, who else do we know with a boat?
Yeah. So then we get Nick up in here, and Nick comes up to us, and he he pulls up to us, and I'm like, Nick's boat is not going to pull our boat out of the water, and I call my nephew Randy,
But Nick's boat rescued me.
And Nick's boat, we got Lisa up.
Yeah, because you ended up with 3 boats.
Yes.
Yeah.
We ended up with 3 boats. So I called my nephew Randy, and Randy, I love you, and I'm so sorry. They were on their way to the secret event. Mike, you're over there running.
Yeah.
You're pushing buttons. You got all kind of stuff going on over there. So, my nephew Randy shows up with, nephew and Brittany. They were going to an event in Tampa that I just totally screwed the pooch on.
Really?
Yeah, they were going to this, this thing in Tampa that they really had to go to. And I said, hey, bro, what are you doing? He says, we're headed to Tampa. I go, I sank my boat. He spun around.
Really?
He says, give me an hour. I'll be there.
Yeah.
This is who?
Randy was 2 hours away and got there in 45 minutes.
That's crazy.
Randy and Brittany deserve a lot.
That's crazy.
And they got there in 45 minutes on a 2-hour trip. I don't even know how they did it. So
Sure.
Randy shows up. We start, and little Gary and my niece Dawn, and they're all on the boat. And we're handing stuff up to them. Now, mind you, we're freezing our butts off. My fingers are numb. My toes are numb. Hypothermia, first stages of hypothermia have already set in. This is legit. So we're in the first stages of hypothermia, which means our fingers are numb, our toes are numb, we're starting to shiver, teeth are chattering.
Cramping.
We're cramping.
Everybody's cramping.
Everybody's cramping. So this is, when you think we're only in 7 feet of water, you still have to get out of this. I had to take my waders off. I had waders full of water. So sinking to the bottom was 100% an option for me. So I had to get up on Nick's boat, take all my clothes off, and get down to my jeans and, and shoes and boots.
Yeah.
And my boots have floated up and floated away. And then, we had to piece a plan together. And at this point, we had to piece a plan together. So, Lisa, before I go any further, we're putting along. We grab a duck. We're headed over to decoys.
Yeah.
Just before all hell broke loose, what is your view? We got Todd's kind of perspective. What is your perspective?
This is the first time I heard Todd's, and Todd thought you were screwing around at first.
Right.
Because it felt like you were doing donuts, like donuts in a car.
Sure, yeah.
And I looked back like, hey, this is not funny. And
right.
expecting you to just be like, oh, just
sorry
joking,
about
guys.
that. I'll stop.
Sorry, my bad. And your arm was down to the left as if it was caught in something, and or you were having a heart attack or whatever, and the look on your eyes, and I'm going to try not to get upset about this, but the look in your eyes was like, we're all screwed. And I'm going to say this for everyone when I say, if you want to be with anyone on a boat or on a deserted island or anywhere, you want to be with Rodney. You want to be with him. He's going to save you. He's going to do everything he can. And then the fact that the boat's going down means that he's not in control. You expect him to be in control. This is bad. Something bad has happened. If you hear a little suction, it's because your granddaughter is sucking on her tiny little pacifier. And she said hi. But yeah, it was very scary, and I thought that you were hurt. So when we did end up, the boat's at the bottom, and I knew Todd was fine. But I was just worried about you. And then when I said, "Are you okay?" and you said, "You're okay," then I just started crying like a little girl, and I cried for a while, and I was cold, and blah, blah, blah.
it's hard for me to see the other perspective.
Yeah, but somewhere in the middle of this, and Lisa's processing this, all of a sudden she's waist deep in water.
Yeah.
Oh no, and it's cold.
It's
and
cold,
I too have on my work boots and my camo and my jacket I just bought, like
heavy
things
jacket.
that heavy in the water.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden the decoys that we didn't use floated up to me.
The decoys,
like a beautiful thing in a bag, and I was holding on a duck under my arm.
She's got a headlock on a duck decoy.
I was like, I'm just holding on to this duck, and I'm shaking, and then we see these other hunters around us, and I know they saw us go down, and I thought, God, they're going to come over. They're going to help us. They're going to make sure we're okay. And they never did. So we had to wait. It was like 15 minutes.
As a matter of fact, they loaded up and drove right by us, watching us.
No, listen, they were shooting.
Yeah, they didn't stop shooting. They didn't.
In the water. They were shooting above our heads when we were in the water.
Let me tell you
this. But you know what?
Yeah.
They never shot us.
No, they didn't shoot us.
Is there a chance they didn't see you?
Did you? Hold on. Did you give them a joke? We were sitting ducks? Whatever.
No, I did just now, actually.
Okay.
Only you, Lisa.
Only you.
Thank you.
You're the best. So, let me tell you why you saw my arm in the back. Let me tell you this. I don't know if I explained it. I may not have said this, and Todd's listening as well. The reason you didn't see my left arm is because the only option I had from the way I was thrown, and that's kind of why I threw out my shoulder. My shoulder is actually kind of pulled right now. Is I dug my hand down as deep as I could in that water to try to give the opposite side of the boat some kind of lift, just for a second, to try to make. You know what I mean by lift?
Yep.
Is if I put enough, a downpour on my hand, I just thought it would be just enough to give that side a lift to let me to get over and get to the pull cord. It wasn't.
Yeah, it looked.
Yeah, it looked bad for you guys, but it was all in my head. It was just kind of.
I understand. I know.
It was just all I had.
You know what? Let me just say real quick. I'm going to give a shout out to Manny and Stacy. Manny being the boat that took our boat out of the water. To Randy and Brittany, who sacrificed their day and helped us in every way they could. To Todd for just being like a calm guy. To Nick and to Nico and Chase for being in the water that whole time, diving down to collect all of our stuff.
All of our guns.
All of our stuff. Sacrificing his day. Like, everybody sacrificed their day for you.
And you know what? Those boys didn't think twice. And they hunted the rest of the day with wet clothes on.
Chase and Nico and you were in the water for way longer than you should have ever been.
Absolutely.
They were heroes.
Absolutely.
They were heroes.
So
I'm guessing this is the first time Manny has had his boat on Lake Toho.
It is, from what I understand, it is the first time. And he was like, "Can I take my boat in there?" And I said, "Yes, man." Now look he's got an offshore boat. We catch mahi out of that boat, and he's in the grass.
Now, who are these two yahoos pulling up behind
That's
you?
Randy and little
That is
Gary.
Randy. Okay.
Yeah, that's Randy and Gary.
Sorry for the Yahoo comment.
Now the reason the reason on his boat, you can see.
Okay, they're waving. That's
good.
That's a good sign.
You see Todd. You see Randy and Gary.
Okay.
Now Todd came back in. Now Randy unloaded his sister Dawn, which is Todd's wife, and he unloaded Brittany off the boat to take as much weight off the boat as he could to try to pull off.
Okay, this is crazy.
I know, this is absolutely amazing, to try to pull our boat out of the water. Now Randy didn't know that Manny had showed up. So at this point, he thought he was going to have to pull our boat out of the water. Now, Randy will admit, and I admitted as well, his boat probably didn't have enough power.
Not quite as equipped.
Not quite as
fair
equipped.
Enough. That's a fair.
Yeah.
Horsepower is horsepower.
Horsepower is horsepower.
Yeah.
And Manny's boat did. And I'll tell you what, I would like to say any one person saved this day, but it was like a whole collective group. And you know what? There's no one more honored than me, Rodney Rogers, to be with the people that you see around me in this video that didn't give a second thought to jump in on a mistake that I had made. And I'll promise you, no one will ever beat themselves up half as much as I do. No one will ever think, my gosh, that 10 feet. I only went 10 feet, and I didn't hook up the one safety feature that could have avoided this whole operation. It hurts my heart. It breaks my heart to know that I put 2 people in my boat and the danger that I put them in. You know, the what ifs, if the water was deeper, if this was that, if this was that. All the little.
If you were actually having a heart attack,
if I was actually having a heart attack, if I didn't have a waterproof phone, I mean, there's so many things. The orange case that floated up under my arms had my flares in it. I mean, all of our safety things were in line, with the exception of the one that could have avoided this whole situation. That one safety switch I could have hooked 2 seconds to hook to my vis. Sometimes, there's a couple things you need to know. There's no cure for complacency, and sometimes pride will get in your way more than anything. I wanted to help Todd and Lisa pick up the decoy, so I didn't hook the safety cord up. And sometimes I have to take and understand that there's people on the front of the boat that want to help, and it's just that one little piece of thing that literally takes me. And Lisa, I am so sorry that I put you in this situation, sweetie. I can't believe, when you love someone that much and you put them in a danger that you do, this is something that you try to avoid at all costs.
But that Todd and I, or anyone else that would be in that boat with you, I know Todd knows that you would never have harmed us. We were safe. I felt safe. Even going down in the boat in 5 seconds, I felt safe. And I think Todd did too. We were just worried about you because, you would have done everything in your power to keep that from happening. And so we thought something was wrong with you. But I mean, we felt safe. You're going to be the one that we're all going to call on if we're stuck on an island.
Now let's amen, Lisa. Now here's the deal. What we're getting ready to see now is the pinnacle of, oh my gosh, it should be a 2-hour show, but pinnacle of 2-hour, all the thought processes going in that you called Manny out. You've hooked up this boat now that you and Nico are standing on.
Yes.
That's in 6 or 7 feet of water. And Manny is going to tell us the plan here as we watch this thing play out.
Yeah. So I said, here's the deal. Do you have audio for this?
No.
Oh, no, you're okay. No, you don't have to have audio for this. So basically what I said, all right, Manny.
I will bring up the audio when I hear Lisa celebrating.
I said, we're going to pull this boat. You're going to pull. I'm going to use these buckets. Little Maya.
Sorry.
We've lost. Yeah. So as you see right now, the boat is coming out of the water. My plan is that once I will turn around and start bailing this with a 5-gallon bucket. And you know what? It worked out just like I talked about, and we start bailing it. Lisa's like, I got to zoom in. And she's trying to hold it. She's like zooming in.
All right.
Listen to this audio now.
Listen to this audio. Oh, it was a little bit before that.
It's working! Oh my God.
So here we are. We're all bailed out. The boat is floating.
Woo!
Beautiful boat.
Yeah.
Thank you, Stacy. I appreciate it. Stacy told me not to beat myself up, and it's really hard not to.
We're gonna be done with this.
It's a matter of you try to do everything right. Sometimes you make mistakes. You take shortcuts. And the key here is, in my buddy Manny being the pilot, he's not allowed to take shortcuts, and he has trained himself not to take shortcuts.
Good point.
And I think this is the point. You're a pilot. What am I talking about? Here you are a pilot. Do you take any shortcuts when you're in the air?
Well, let's get back to Manny.
Okay.
He's the real deal. I don't take anything away from Manny.
So, I mean, the key is that you don't take those shortcuts. All the safety features are in place for a reason.
Yeah.
There's a reason those safety features are in place. And, Lisa, thank you so much for calling, sweetie.
All right.
Hey, Lisa,
I'm
what's that?
Yeah.
No, hang on. What's that sound in the background?
That is my baby.
It's a little baby.
That's a
I have to
baby.
tend to her. It's a little tiny Rodney that I have to tend to.
Is
But
that
it's a
baby
girl.
Rodney?
I hear her squeaking, and I'm like, I got her on the phone. She's trying to take care of her baby. All right, sweetie, I'll see you shortly.
Okay. All right, bye.
Bye. Bye. So, there's no excuse for taking those little shortcuts on safety items. Emergency items are just that. We hide away these life preservers, these things, the flares. We think that we're never going to use them. Take it from me. I've got thousands of hours on hundreds of boats. I don't even, not hundreds, but
Sure,
tons of different boats.
Fair
but I
enough.
have thousands of hours on different boats over the last 38 years. And I can tell you this, I've never needed a safety item once. Not a whistle, not a flare, not a life preserver. But I'll tell you what, I would have gave it all up for that one little safety cord at that very moment. That will not be forgotten. There's no cure for complacency. It absolutely put me in my place. It has made me humble. It has made me realize that there are things way more important, and I absolutely need to put this message out there. If I never do, you see it from the FWC, put your safety gear on, wear your life vest. It's a whole new protocol, Mike. I put people in danger I shouldn't have. If it would have been just me by myself, and I called Nick up and said, dude, I sank my boat, blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
We pulled it out. Everybody high fives. We got this boat out, and I learned a lesson. I had people in this boat. I had people in danger. Now, the little things I did before, checking water temperature, checking depth, there's a reason I did it. I never want to hunt in water deeper than 7 feet. And actually, 6 feet is my limit.
This could have been
something
a different
I can
story.
try to stand on.
Sure.
So that helped us. The little things that I do to prepare for those situations put us in a position to where we were okay. So I kind of got to give myself credit for that, but I kind of dropped the ball with the safety item. So man, I love each and every one of you. Manny, Stacy, Little Gary, Dawn, Brittany, Randy, Nick, Nico, Chase, Lisa, Todd, that's a family, man. Jesus Christ. We just absolutely saved the day with all of us. It's not any one person doing any one thing. Man, we have spent way more on our dime, haven't we?
Well, yeah, I put an extra quarter in.
You're the man.
But it is an example of, especially in this situation, people are precious to you. You're having a moment with them that how quickly, and for anybody who's maybe not around to express this, how quickly things turn on a dime.
Quickly.
That those little things, those little safety things, switching on, clipping on the safety stop to your vest makes a difference. And you're here to be able to talk about it in dialogue with Todd and Lisa. So thanks, Todd and Lisa, for calling in.
Absolutely.
But how quickly, like I say, things are going great. You're duck hunting. Next thing you know, you're waist deep in water. Next thing you know, the boat is gone. And you're trying to figure out, spur of them, how you're going to deal with this.
And in the video, you see us kind of laughing and giggling, and it's just trying to take off the stress of the situation. There's a ton of what ifs. There's a ton of and ifs. What can we do next time? Blah blah blah. But I think the bottom line is that you pay attention to those safety items. If it can happen to me, it can happen to you. And you've heard that 1,000 times, but you may not have heard it from someone you know.
Mm-hmm.
If you know me, you know.
Yeah.
Take that extra minute out. That extra minute may cost a life. I tagged you in the video in San Francisco to a boat doing circles. They didn't put their safety device on. The same thing that I didn't do.
Yeah.
The very same thing. Had my boat not sank, who knows? That second turn, I may have been thrown off. I may have been hit by that. My gosh.
Yeah. The same thing happened to them, but it wasn't 6 feet of water, and they probably both died. One for sure died.
One for sure died. They can't find the other.
Yeah.
And it's that same situation. So, my gosh. So from now on our show, you'll be hearing us talk about safety. Sorry about your luck. You're going to hear it. And you're going to hear us talk about Rodney Rogers Outdoors. Check us out on our camping trip. Mike, you got anything else? We're way past our quarter.
Yeah, but I don't know that I care. But thank you for being real, honest, open with this whole thing, because it's a learning experience for you and everybody else watching
Absolutely.
and listening. We haven't even mentioned the fact that this is Thanksgiving week, so that going into that,
Oh my gosh.
we're 2 days away from Thanksgiving. We have an incredible lot to be thankful for. Me personally, for you,
I'm so thankful.
for this opportunity to be with you, and for what I gained from your friendship, your knowledge, your expertise, for letting me be a part of this. I'm incredibly thankful.
And I am thankful for that as well. And I'm thankful for everybody that watches this and that can absolutely learn. If we could save one single person, if we can open up one single eye, it's like us preaching Jesus. If we can pull in one follower, one person to understand how important safety is, and I know we haven't preached it until it happened to us, hopefully it doesn't happen to you. I really do. Thank you, everybody, for watching us. Don't forget about, hey, happy Thanksgiving, Shane, John. When I watched you live that day, it made me realize how I need to be more responsible. I thank you for opening my eyes. I learned. So John just said that.
That's great,
You know
Rodney.
what? And don't beat yourself up. Matt Stoffel, my man Matt, says there's a reason it's called an accident. It only gives you a better experience to learn from. That's
Yeah, but what? Oh my gosh, the technology, the fact that you were FaceTiming live.
Yeah.
We're sitting here now.
Yeah.
I watched you live pulling your boat out of Lake Toho while I'm sitting in a Dunkin' Donuts parking lot, just parked, going, "Oh my gosh, this is happening."
My buddy just sank his boat.
So I mean, the technology and being able to feel that connection with you. I mean, oh my gosh, this has been a very surreal week.
Thank you, Jesus, for letting me go live. I mean, honestly. I mean, there's a lot of hypothermia sat in, was setting in. It was the first stages. I mean, that's the first time I've ever met all the stages, the cramping, the shivering, the numbness. I mean, it was the first time I'd ever met all those stages. Out of all the things I've done in my years of hunting, being, waking up with frost on me while hunting. I mean, it's the first time I've ever waken up to those stages, had those stages of actual frostbite. If I didn't have flares, which I did, I didn't have to use them. And I didn't even get into that. I only had the handheld flares. Now I'll get the shoot up flares. I mean, there's
so many questions.
Oh my God, there's next week's show may be on this.
Yeah.
So,
Todd, Lisa, thank you for calling in.
Oh my gosh, thank you so
Lisa,
much.
thanks for broadcasting this whole the pinnacle of this thing live. For staying with it. I thank you.
Yeah. So, I mean, thank you everybody for watching, and tons of questions. I mean, and thank you for everybody that actually called me and sent me messages and thanked me on Facebook and thanked me, and you know what? A lot of people thanked us for being admittedly so, just admitting that we screwed up, that I screwed up. I will take 100% blame for this. The safety feature was in my face. I ignored it. It is 100% my fault. I will accept that responsibility, and I will learn from it. I promise you, out of all the mistakes in my life, that one will never happen. That particular one mistake will never happen again. If you look at all my past videos, you see that cord connected to me. Every time I've ever taken a picture or a video with my John boat and or with that duck boat, that cord is hooked to me. All of it is only going 10 feet to pick up my decoys.
Well, we have to pick up on next week because we haven't even begun to broach how's the boat.
How's the boat?
So
okay. Mike, you got anything?
No, sir.
December 2nd and 3rd, we'd love to see you there. Come out and see us. We'll pick you up in that same boat, and I promise you I'll put your life preserver on so you can swim to shore. Woo! And as my mama said 18 million times.
Yeah, she did.
And I pray I get to say it half as much because you know how much I love my mama.
You do.
You kids get outside and stay.